Hi, I'm Kevin Sakati. One of the things that really excites me about the work I do as a coach is that there's such a deliberate focus on growth and learning in the work that I do. And I get to share that with the clients I work with. And one of the concepts that's always at play in our lives is this concept, this thing I call rules. We all have rules operating in multiple areas of our lives, but most of the time we're honestly not even aware that we have them. So I want to share with you a story about one of my recent clients so you can kind of put this into context and understand maybe how some of your rules are operating in your life. And along the way, I'm going to share with you some distinctions that will help you to make a conscious shift and hopefully add a level of fulfillment and happiness and success to your life and to your work. Not long ago, I was working with one of my clients, and he's a senior leader in a Fortune 500 company, very successful by all outward measures, very respected in the company, certainly well compensated. And I asked him, somehow we got on this topic of success. And I asked him, are you successful? And I was kind of surprised and a little bit taken back when he said, no, I really don't see myself as successful. Well, of course, being a coach, I got very curious about that. So I wanted to know, why isn't he successful? Or why, really more specifically, why doesn't he see himself as successful? So I asked him, well, what needs to happen in order for you to feel successful? And just so you understand, if you're talking to a person, if you're talking to a friend, a colleague, an associate, anybody, and you ask them, hey, are you happy? And they say, no, I'm really not happy. Well, then ask this question: what needs to happen in order for you to feel blank, in order for you to feel happy, in order for you to feel loved, and in this case with this client, in order for you to feel successful? What has to happen? Now, one of the first things he said was, well, I realized that nobody ever tells me that I'm a good leader. People don't come up to me and say, you know what, you're really a good leader and we really respect you. And see, any time that you base your rules on something external, something outside of you that has to happen in order for you to feel or experience a feeling, well, then you've just taken all the control out of your own hands. So the fact that no one ever told him he was a good leader, to him it meant I must not be a successful leader in this organization. Another rule that we uncovered was this belief that he had that in order to be successful, he can't make any mistakes, and ultimately his projects can never fail. But how successful will any of us be in life if we can never make a mistake or we can't fail? So one of the other things that we identified was that not only did he have these rules in place that he really up until now hadn't been aware of, but that he had also stacked those rules one on top of the other, so that if any one of those rules failed to be met, he would not experience the feeling of being successful. So once we identified those rules that he had for success and for experiencing success, well, we had to reevaluate those rules and ask, do these rules empower me or do they disempower me? Do they allow me to feel successful, or do they create an environment where I'm constantly going to feel like a failure? So in the process of rewriting these rules, really the exercise was just taking each one of those rules and asking the question, what's a more empowering rule to support you in feeling success? In terms of his leadership, instead of having a rule that required people to tell him he was a good leader, all he had to do is he rewrote the rule that said something to this effect: anytime I'm doing work that is contributing to my team and to my organization, I experience success. And so you might be asking right now, well, what difference did that really make to him? So what? You played with, some of the words, the semantics. You just juggled a few words and rewrote his rules. Big deal. But what you have to understand is what that did was that significantly removed the pressure that he felt, and pressures that were operating under the surface, beneath the level of his consciousness, that impacted his ability to really experience success in his own life. And it changed everything for him. See, once he understood that he didn't have to rely on anybody outside of him to tell him he was a good leader, and once he realized that it's really unreasonable to think that he should have all the answers to all the questions, and once he realized that he didn't have to be perfect and never make any mistakes, that took a tremendous amount of pressure off him, and it allowed him to relax into who he is as a leader in his organization. And the greatest thing is that he gets to experience what it feels like to feel successful. He gets to feel like a winner. So you can see how you really have an opportunity to go through and reevaluate these rules and really create a whole new set of standards for you to live by. Standards that allow you to experience the things that you most want to experience. So my invitation to you is simply this. Start to identify your rules for success. Clearly identify what your rules are by asking the question, what needs to happen in order for me to feel successful? Then go through each one of those rules and ask, do these rules empower me or disempower me? Do they make it easy for me to feel pain or pleasure? Do they allow me to feel successful, or at the end of the day, do I feel drained? Do I feel like I'm a failure? And then third, rewrite the rules. Set up the rules of the game so that you can win. And if you'd like to continue to receive these newsletters and videos, and you're not already on my mailing list, then go to my website at humanfactorformula.com. Sign up for the free newsletter. You will continue to receive the very best information and training available anywhere for project managers looking to take their soft skills, their interpersonal skills, and their leadership and relationship building skills to the next level. So until next time, I wish you the best and be well.